Patrons, I'm more gravity. Let's play chess. So, I won this game about 5 minutes ago. Had the black pieces. Let's see what happened. Queen's pawn opening, and then this strange move, slow move, pawn to h3 allows black moment to make a move in the center. Pawn to c5, and he's aware of both the possibility of d takes c5 as well as any other move that might come to mind. It's very flexible actually for white. And after pawn to c3, I said sure. Close down the position a bit. And knight to f3 and knight to c6, developing moves. Now bishop g5 is a little weird. As you look at it, he'll just get pushed back by the pawn, but it's not quite that straightforward. Bishop goes to h4 and then g3 if there's further provocation, or it just goes back somewhere safe like d2. But the issue then is the e8 to h5 diagonal that either the light squared bishop or the queen might avail themselves of at some point in the future. This could be a very dangerous diagonal with a move like queen h5 check on black's king. And then there's, sometimes like if g5 has already been pushed and for some reason the bishop is on d7, this queen h5 in these types of positions can be checkmate, queen h5 checkmate, due to the large number of same team pieces that the king on e8 has blocking would-be escape squares. So we have pawn to f6 anyway, because it is a strong move to gain a tempo against this bishop. Now the computer has all these moves as inaccuracies. In a game of blitz, it's on. So what I tried to do with pawn to e6 here is both, first of all, stable and grand pawn chain from the middle over to the queen side. I'm not all that worried about h5 right now because the knight's in the way and the pawn's in the way, and then the move has to be made, and g6 can stop it. In some versions there's a pin on the h7 pawn from recapturing, but we're not there yet. It's not the thing to worry about right now. So my opponent played pawn to e3 because maybe develop her or they bishop to e2, and I play bishop to d6 in preparation for a push g5, where when the bishop moves back, I'll capture the bishop, and then recaptures. This pawn is very weak, extremely weak. And we see this is what happens. This comes to fruition in this game. Now, e2, or bishop e2, because of my pawn chain, this is the only sensible move for white's light squared bishop. It's a good move, and it makes possible a kingside castle in any move there, in some move thereafter. So I go ahead with my plan, g5, still to push the bishop back. We swap bishops on g3. The pawn comes back. I'm immediately going to attack that very weak pawn. It's not really clear from my eyes right away exactly how white should deal with this. I think pawn to g4 might have been better than what we saw in the game, but that allows queen to g3 check. The king moves before being castled, and black is doing well. Black has the advantage. In the game, we saw king to f2 to protect the g3 pawn, and it's on an adjacent square that the king finds himself checkmated. Well, I shouldn't have said. And an adjacent square, a diagonally adjacent square, if that's even possible. Look, it's dangerous for white's king to be on f2. Expanding along the H file with a pawn move. Mostly, if I can get my pawn to H4, it looks like we could jostle some of White's king's defenders loose. There might be a pawn on H4 in the future, where after a queen could venture to G3 and give check, a dangerous check, and so things are looking good for black. Not amazing, but good. And you see this sometimes. You put enough pressure into the position, and you don't know what kind of mood your opponent's into, right? I studied psychology. It's not all about how grand a chess player your opponent is or not. Maybe my opponent is just not into, this pawn business, sort of in the midline on the king side. So he's like, I want something more dramatic. And boom, knight takes g5. That doesn't always make it the best. Doesn't necessarily make that move the best chess move. But this is gonna be more dramatic, and I'm gonna capture your knight, and for at least some time here, I'll be ahead material. And we see in this next batch of moves, in this next batch of moves, we see black, if I recall correctly, I didn't do so well in these next few moves, and then sort of found a saving grace. And part of it is bishop takes h5 check is just strong start to finish. And this is the best move on the board, and I think king e7 kind of deals with it. The idea is we're going to guard these three squares on the f file as strongly as we can, and that means all hands on deck, including the king. There's no dark squared bishop to be super menacing against this sort of dangerous formation, so that's okay. The queen's on her light square. She's gonna take a move or two until there's even a check from her. So yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so queen to g4. I mean, we can see it now with the orange thing here. When one is playing chess, we don't get that. If you get that, like orange indication like that, that's cheating, my friends. So this position, when I'm playing with black to move here, would I probably take a lot of time? Yeah, I took a good amount of time, 29 seconds to eventually decide on knight to f6, and we're attacking multiple pieces at once. And it's the best move, it's the right move. But I'm playing this game live. I don't know if it's all that great a move. I'm giving up another pawn, so then might be gone my material advantage. Anyway, I played the best move, so I'm proud of that. Knight to f6, queen to g5, rook g8 is still strong, and now the killer move, queen takes g3 check, and black's gonna be up a lot of material at the end of this here. And then certain moves will lead directly to checkmate, like king to g1, and so I played checkmate, queen to g2 checkmate. It's a fun game, cool game. I'm glad to have won. I thought it was a good game. All right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Gravitrons. I'm more gravity. Have a great night. Have a safe night. It's Saturday night. Have a safe night. Bye.